$2,500, that was the cost to do the YWCA, what was that, where did that number come
A
from?
portion of it was to do the YWCA, YWCA, sorry, I got my acronym chart. So, the last time we had talked about potentially taking that component of it out, but still continuing to retain funds, to get a facilitator to help us work plan towards how to incorporate this within our organization. So that is where the suggestion came to reduce from the 12,500, the 2,500,
Oh, reduced by 4,000.
right, so it would be the reduction for the class
But this
itself.
this was not just for board, this was for like,
Organization as a whole.
wow, I mean, 2,500 is not that much money for that.
Well, it isn't.
No, so the reduction of the 2,500
4,000.
was for the class, so allotting 4 slots for people to attend the class in 2020. So that's what we had talked about at the last session, eliminating in 2020, but then retaining the balance, for having some, working on the overall program of what we wanna work on, getting a facilitator to work with us, and that would be village-wide as an organization.
So we wouldn't have funding to send anyone to the class, but we would have funding for someone to come in and
Correct.
start the work with board members, commission members, and staff.
Correct.
Okay, with, $2,500.
What do they recommend on staff trainings? I guess I've seen different.
Yeah, I have to be really honest with you, after exploring a lot of different avenues for this is not a lot of, the budgets and the resources that have been proposed for me are far in excess of any of this.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, with whatever is left within this, we're gonna be trying to find people to help us, and I'm not sure how much you're going to get in help on. That's the honest answer. I don't have any good, I'm just letting you know how it is in the landscape of what this is.
Given some of the events in the village, my preference would be to leave this where it is. I think this is something that I see as a priority. And again, going from 65 to 25, that seems like it would significantly tie your hands, and I don't want to do that. So I'm in favor of keeping it at 65.
I am as well.
I am too.
I am too. I wish we don't really have a clear idea of what we're gonna do with the money, so I wish that we had a better idea, like actual proposals in front of us, rather than just this amount versus that amount, but, I'm not sure for 2,500, that's, maybe 25 hours or 35 hours as a consultant, which is,
What do you think the 6,500, could that get us more, what would that potentially get us, I guess?
We try to seek out resources with that down on, it's low,
Even as it is.
out of the gate. Right now, there's, in exploring it with YWCA, they don't even have a facilitator that they would be willing, they're not willing, but since their organization is going through a transition, they don't have resources, and there are not a lot of resources of who provides this service. Tyler and I are currently, taking the class. It's been a really wonderful experience. We're on class 2 of 6 classes, and I'll just speak for myself. I think you've enjoyed it, because we talked about it. There aren't a plethora of people within this area, and the people who have been the most progressive on it, and I'll use Milwaukee County as an example, have, joined GAR, which is a national organization, right? So when I looked at, getting into that with ICMA, because they're involved with it, which is our national organization, or, like in Milwaukee County, they were talking to me like we had a budget for this, and I was like, no, we're just trying to explore, right, getting started, and it's like, oh yeah, well you need to buy into this, and I'm like, okay, so it's continually going back to the drawing board and trying to find something that will work. So this the training costs money. So with whatever is left within the scope of this budget, we're gonna try to do something very good with, and we're going to start. And I think that's one of the most important things that we need to keep in mind for our organization, is that it's a commitment to start, so in funding that you commit to that start, and I think that that's powerful. I think it's a good place to be.
Alright, is there, okay, so how about a show of hands on who would like to keep it at 6,500? Okay, that's 5 of us, Allison,
Is the 5,500, it's not reducing it anything, right?
6,500, and that's no reduction, correct?
Okay, I would be in favor of reducing.
Okay, so you're a no. Anne?
I support keeping it at the current level.
Okay, so that's 6-1. Okay, merit pay policy, there's $10,000 in the budget for merit raises, and everyone recalls we changed the merit pay to every 5 years. It's a 5% bump every 5?
4%.
4% every 5 years, so this would be, so some of these people, got a merit last year though, right?
Yeah, so,
It's just if they happen to hit the 5-year anniversary.
correct. So we've had at least a year, I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 years now, but is it 2 years? Thanks, Mark. So we have 2 years that people have hit it, so this would be year 3.
And it's been 10,000 a year, basically?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's worked for us.
I would support keeping it in.
Remember, this is what we use to progress through the pay range.
All right.
Is that the same as, I know we say this, but CPI, we mix them together?
No, this is merit, this is on top of the, COLA.
Okay, oh, sorry, COLA, I'm in favor of cutting back on COLA to 1.5.
Okay, that's the next item, so merit,
Okay.
is there anyone who wants to cut,
Cutting merit.
you what?
If it does, if the COLA decrease is not passed, then I'd be in support of cutting merit.
Okay,
One or the other.
is there anyone who supports cutting the merit? So Allison may support it, is there anyone? I don't see anyone else in favor of cutting the merit. So, okay, who's in favor of keeping the merit in at 10,000? Okay, I got 5, and Allison, you can,
Abstain.
okay, abstain, and Anne? On merit?
I support keeping it in.
Okay, so that's 6, okay. Reduce COLA from 2 to 1.5 would be a savings of $10,000.
Correct.
Okay,
And I'm in favor because if you look at that page, the average is not 2, is it, Mark? I know for the last 3 years, but if you average it for like 5 years, like you do the other stuff, pretty much it won't make that.
Well, there's 3 metrics you look at, is that the village approved COLA, the village approved COLA for union staff, and then the 5-year CPI trend, of which the first year, 5 years ago, was extremely low, so, I think, you found the chart there.
yeah. So in 16, the general increase was 1.5%, which was above CPI. But in 17, 18, 19, it's all been, 17 was below CPI. It's all been, except for 19 was just about at CPI. So it looks like the COLAs have been lagging CPI.
In the last few years, but before that, they were almost at 0.
What, the CPI?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta take the trend out further, it's just that we were paying 1.5 for many, many years, and then, last year we switched to 2.
What's CPI running? I looked it up, I thought it was 1.9,
I think this year it's going to be almost 1.9,
that's what I was thinking.
and the
Yeah, I know.
crystal ball projection for next year is 2.
We've got a lot of turnover.
We don't-
A lot of new
don't know.
DPW people retiring and stuff, so.
Well, we have no vacancies. Remember?
Okay, is there, this is one I may wanna come back to depending on where we end up, but at this point, I'm not in favor of reducing it, but what do other people think?
I'm not in favor of reducing it. I think we just talked about living wages and, making sure that we're competitive and also treating our staff appropriately as we're asking to take a lot of cuts in a lot of areas, so I would want to ensure that we also have a community that really supports, public employees, so I think that we should ensure that they're receiving, so I'm not in support of reducing it.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one and feel like if this is an opportunity to come back to. We could.
We can do that.
Okay,
Why not? We
I'm
can
not-
support it.
I'm not in support, yeah, I'm not in support of this time either.
Well, if Ann's not in support, we don't have to come back to it, so.
Right.
Ann, are you in support of coming back to this, or are you just good with 2%?
2%.
Okay. All right, so we have 4 votes for this one. But I don't know, I don't wanna necessarily vote against it, so I'll abstain. Allison, do you wanna abstain or no, or what?
Oh, no, I'm voting for it.
Okay.
Cut.
Oh, for the cut, okay, so you're a no, and
For the
Jessica,
cut.
Jessica and I abstain, okay. Okay, review funding of contracted writing, and that was because with Shorewood Foundation in Shorewood today, the number of articles for the village are fewer, correct?
This was the contract with Jennifer Anderson,
Uh-huh,
and she's been at 4,000 for the last at least 3 years. Bid, so we pay her 1,000 per issue to do all the articles. So this would be increasing that to 1,500. That's based on comps of what she does for the bid, which she also does writing for the bid too. So that's just getting her up to that level.
how many articles does the village, I thought because of the foundation, now we're sharing.
Yeah,
It's the bid, the CDA, the foundation, and us, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think in this, for instance, in the winter issue, I bet we have her working on about 7 or 8 articles.
Just communication for the community. We just raised the amount that we pay the contractor for the elder services program that we all voted on at our last board meeting. So before that, we had Sue Kelly, doing that program for a reduced cost and putting it in kinding. And then we just voted to hire someone new who doesn't have the same background to get paid more than Sue Kelly was getting paid for a long time, set the program in motion. So she's asking for, I'm fine with keeping it funded fully at the 6,000, which is the request. I think it's been a great product, it's a great thing for our community, and I don't think that just because some people have been willing to do something for, a lower rate for a long period of time, that we should take advantage of that necessarily.
Trustee Nissen, how much did it equal per article?
Well, if she's writing 6 or 7 articles per issue and there's 4, so it'd be
Yeah.
24 to 28 articles.
I think it'd be like
Is that
$125 to $150 per article.
It's what? 150 per article?
125 to 150 per article. I can tell you she spends more than at least 2 hours on most articles because she has to do a lot of interviews to get the background information. So it's not just the time to write it, but she has to do a lot of behind the scenes work.
Does she also participate in the overall magazine committee, or?
She'll attend like the editorial board meetings
Right.
too, but we don't comp her for that. She
No,
just
but
does
she's
that
does,
to
yes,
get to
right.
know what other things are happening in the
Right,
issue.
sure.
We're lucky to
I
have her
support
in
keeping it at this level at 6,000.
And, she's-
Ann supports keeping it at
I
6,000.
support keeping
So
it.
do I.
I would too,
Okay,
given
all right,
the-
looks like that one passes then.
Well, what's the vote?
And this is the only earned income for article writing for Shorewood, right? For Shorewood.
For each, yeah, for us,
For the
so
village.
each,
From the village.
from the village, correct.
So there's other income from other sources.
Like the bid also pays her the 6,000 amount, she's been giving us a discount at 4,000, so we're just bringing her to what the bid pays her as well for writing.
So was that 7-0?
Well, it's the
We
bid.
Well, my question was, which I still haven't heard an answer to, is whether the village has the same number of articles now that the foundation is involved, or if we have fewer
Oh,
articles.
no, the foundation has like one article for each, we have way more,
Okay, that was my
yeah,
question
we have
as to whether.
several more compared to the
But
foundation.
it is an increase from what we were paying.
That's correct.
I don't know, it's not a lot of money. Okay, fine, okay, so 7-0. All right, reduced parking fines, current estimate. So, you'll have to refresh this is in the police department budget?
That's correct. The discussion at the workshop was that there was concern that a $420,000 estimate was perhaps higher than recent trends, and that the board may choose to reduce that